all, I would like to actually congratulate all the Geo Innovation Award winner and welcome all the geospatialists to this event. This is some sort of like an annual event that we are very proud about for users to actually share the stories. So for this particular session, I would like to actually brief you guys about some of the keywords that Esri has been working on. Some of this that I will be briefing you is upcoming technology that will be releasing probably by this year or even next year. And some of this technology is already in place into our core Esri technology. So before I go further, I would like to touch a little bit about how different users use GIS, in particular how they use Esri technology for. You can hear from the user's presentation just now, or even some of the user story that CS has actually mentioned. If I were to summarize it, I would say that it would be 5 different categories. So some of them used for operational needs, like for example in PLUS, they enable the operation and maintenance team. Some in disaster and emergency response, whereby Drupal BJSP has enabled when there's a disaster like COVID, landslide, or even flood, they are there to actually respond and help to relieve it. And some about community engagement. You hear from local councils how they would like to actually collect all their information together to actually serve the community or to serve citizens. And then you go into planning and how PLUS or even Alam Flora use this to actually plan the solid waste management as well as the cleansing across the country. And last but not least, you hear a lot about how people want to actually collaborate that information now. Like from the Explore on the Go, where you collaborate a lot of different kinds of information from your exploration team, from MBSA, different departments, and all this actually comes together. But in order to do this, it requires a technology that is robust enough or sustainable enough to support all this, and as well as to support the industry trend. Probably a lot of you can hear about this. Like we talk about AR, GeoBeam that PLUS actually mentioned, cloud collaboration, we like to put it on the cloud, artificial intelligence or GeoAI or machine learning, or last but not least is like reality capture or even smart cities. So when this industry comes in, this is where our technology or GIS has actually changed, and how we from a normal desktop software, like we normally do like 10 years ago, we start to do things on the desktop. Now it has changed everything to actually fit into this industry trend. From data capturing, visualizing in real time, analyzing and predicting what is going to happen in the future, and last but not least, to share and collaborate, not only within your organization, within your department, but also across organization and across agency. So these are 4 patterns that GIS is actually moving towards, and these are the 4 key areas that a lot of organizations is actually focusing on. Where Esri technology comes in, our innovation, to actually support the industry trend, to support different kind of use case pattern, as well as to support the GIS industry as a whole, we are enabling a lot of application and templates to be able to actually display real-time information, to share information through hubs, okay? And we work extensively in the imagery and remote sensing. Later on, I will show you a little bit of our work that is upcoming into our technology in the space of imagery and remote sensing. We work a lot into 3D visualization, geodesign, or maybe some of them all call it as GeoBeam. And then how do we communicate this information out to our stakeholders using the reporting and storytelling. So for the next few slides, these are some of the key enhancements that I have picked out. These are not only the enhancement. So if you'd like to know the full enhancement, probably you should, if you have time, you can actually join us in our Esri user conference in July. There's almost like 15 or 16,000 people over there that Jack, our president, will actually show all the enhancement that he's working on. The first thing that I would like to actually introduce to you is in 2023, you will see that spatial video will become the core capability across Esri system. We do support spatial video now. Most of it we support on the desktop. For some of you, maybe you heard about this called the full motion video that we have on our desktop. So you can actually view motion imagery on our desktop level, like for example, ArcGIS Pro. But now with ArcGIS Video Server, this is where we actually host that video and imagery, motion imagery on the server. And you are able to actually surf out this on the web instead of viewing it on your desktop only. So a little bit of a view over here. This is one of our applications called ArcGIS Excalibur. This is a web-based application. This is where when you have captured those motion imagery or video, and you would like to actually display it and to actually reach out to more users. Instead of just reaching out to desktop users, now you can actually reach out to a larger user in the organization by using this web application. The next one that I would like to actually introduce, and it's actually already there, is Esri has actually acquired something called Sure from N-Frame, okay? And then we name it as called Sure for ArcGIS. This is actually a backend engine. It's not actually a product that you can actually purchase and so on. So for those of you that knows about our products, such as like Drone to Map or even Site Scan, this is going to be the backend engine of it. Previously, our Drone to Map is actually based on Pix4D, if let's say some of you are aware about. But then now, the newer version will be based on this called the Sure for ArcGIS. Why are we introducing this, or why are we embedding this into our technology? Is because it's going to produce a high-quality 3D mesh in our technology. So when you compare this against the previous that we have, you will see this is much more, these are raw imagery, okay, whereby you can actually combine it and overlay it together with your vector data or attributes. And then when you actually generate out, this is not just static imagery, okay, whereby you are able to actually classify it into different categories, as well as to actually view selected attributes. So what you see here is showing you the quality of the raw imagery after we have actually generated the 3D mesh using Sure for ArcGIS engine. But of course, this is without the processing yet. This is just raw and what we are showing over now. So what we can do is to not only to see different symbology, but also to actually query the attributes. This is a sample application that we actually created. This is based on actually Amsterdam, okay, whereby they actually created this 3D imagery. The next one that I would like to actually touch a little bit, okay, we heard about physical reality, whereby to map out our physical world, okay. Then we talk about AR, whereby it becomes so popular that people play Pokemon. Some of them actually play a social filter, like you can have the cat photo in front of your filter and so on. So when we talk about AR, it's just overlaying information onto the real world only. Like, oh, I saw a Pokemon on my phone, on the real world. So when we talk about MR, it's where we merge this information into the real world. So I'm not sure if, let's say, MR is a little bit about like AR plus VR. If let's say you all know that we have this called the Pavilion, KL, then after that they set up something that at the end they put it down because a lot of people come and take video over there. There's a booth, and the booth coming over and it looks very real, okay? Those are some of the technology of MR mixed with the VR, okay? Then we talk about VR, this is where now children start to play those VR gaming games already. Okay? What we are introducing is something called the extended reality, and how our technology supports extended reality, which is a mixture of AR, MR, and VR. So what you can see over here is how we use ArcGIS City Engine is one of our software, okay? And how this output of ArcGIS City Engine can actually be imported into another software, which is a visualization software. This is Twinmotion, is not ours, okay? Twinmotion is a software that is being used outside to provide enhanced visualization. So what happened is you design it in ArcGIS City Engine. If some of you all know the cartoon called Zootopia, it is designed using City Engine, okay, the cities and so on. So once you have actually designed it, the enhancement that we have is now these kind of models can export into the advanced visualization model, advanced visualization software, like for example, Twinmotion. So this is a sample of Twinmotion. It imports City Engine data, and now it becomes a little bit more real. So it gives a little bit of enhancement onto it. You can actually modify your assets, modify the trees, how does it look like, and so on. This is a software that is being used probably for film productions or even others. So once you have actually created this based on ArcGIS City Engine data, then you will be able to actually simulate certain things. Like for example, if let's say you want to simulate the city, how does it look like? Or even let's say, for example, if let's say there's a flood, how does it look like, and so on, then it looks very real. This is what we call the extended reality. So it's like people walking through, it's as if like we are actually in that particular city, looking at the environment itself, and so on. The next thing that I would like to introduce to you is something that is being enabled using ArcGIS Reality. ArcGIS Reality is a suite of software. It is an engine that we actually enable behind our imagery software. So what I want to show you something here is called the 3D oriented imagery that we are actually creating. And the area here that you see is actually where our Esri user conference, the Santiago that CS mentioned, where you receive your SAG award. And this is where you can see the street view. Okay? So a lot of development will be developed on top of our software to actually show this called the 3D-oriented imagery. Using the engine that we have, is called ArcGIS Reality. So this is where our technology is, Esri technology. Now we are actually at Enterprise or ArcGIS 11. So we call our technology as a suite, it's called ArcGIS 2022, whereby we are actually at ArcGIS 11 Pro 3.0 and actually ArcGIS Online. In 2023, where you will see the announcement in July, we will move into ArcGIS 11.x, not 12 yet. Okay? So you will see where we are focusing a lot is how to enable a lot of machine learning and AI into our technology, making our technology cloud native, okay? As well as to work a lot in terms of BIM, the model builder, and analysis. So this is where the technology, the core, will continue to build in addition to whatever I've actually presented to you earlier on.